Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello everyone, welcome back to Bookology, the show with interviews, blindfolds, and snacks from around the world. I'm BJ Fournier, and tonight we're going to Brazil. Let's get into it, shall we? Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bookology, the show with interviews, blindfolds, and snacks from all around the world. I'm looking forward to tonight's episode because I know that with everything going on in the world right now, this author's book might be able to help some of you cope with these harsh realities. So maybe you want to kind of check this one out. But before I do get into the introduction, I just wanted to mention that tonight will be the last Monday night episode we'll be having. All right. From this point forward, we're just going to be doing Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Times. So, Standard Times, just make sure you mark your calendars, okay? With that being said, thank you guys so much for the incredible support we've been getting. Our Facebook page continues to grow every single day. We have nearly over 2,500 people, and we're really excited about that. Now, if you're looking forward to tonight's episode about dealing with anxiety, then feel free to share the broadcast, especially if you know a friend who might benefit from it as well. It's going to be a good one. Now, don't forget to head on over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel over there. Our YouTube channel offers more than what these lives give you, all right? We're working on uploading funny bloopers that you're going to love only on YouTube. We're going to be having special interviews with celebrity authors only on YouTube and a ton of other fun stuff. So head on over to YouTube and subscribe now. We literally only need 2 more subscribers to unlock a feature that will allow us to brand our URL so we're easier to find, okay? So we definitely appreciate any one of you who can help us with that. All right. Do you live a life constantly surrounded by family, friends, co-workers, and acquaintances, and yet you still feel completely alone? Do you tend to get stuck in your own head, overthinking possible scenarios to every single event in your life? Have you ever felt out of place, isolated, lost, weird, or broken, and not know how to get yourself out of that hole? Have you ever felt like a burden or disappointment to the people you care about most? Well, if you have, then I would urge you to tune in to tonight's episode. Carrie Thompson, author of Anxiety, Diary of an Ordinary Girl, is your average girl. Struggled with these feelings most of her life, but never more than when she was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. From the time she was a child, she allowed this negative self-talk to grow and fester until it finally led to a mental illness and a complete breakdown. She allowed perfectionism, guilt, shame, fear, and the toxicity of her past to destroy every part of her, landing her in a mental breakdown at the end of 2019. This book is a story of destruction, and more importantly, her comeback, and the lessons learned along the way. Carrie shares her story to raise awareness for mental health disorders, and to ensure all of you that you have a kindred spirit out there. You're not alone. Okay? So please join me in welcoming our next guest author on Bookology, Carrie Thompson. All right, we are here and we are live with Miss Carrie Thompson. Carrie, say hello to the audience who is looking pretty live right now. We've got a pretty good chat board. I guess you're Miss Popularity, huh?
I guess.
Hey, Kayla. How you doing? Hey, Nicolia, Kristen. Everybody's popping on. They're saying hello. Guys, if you have any questions for the great Carrie, just let me know in the comments as usual, and I will definitely be able to deliver them to her so that she can answer any questions you might have. This episode really touches my heart because it's something that I've personally struggled with in respect to anxiety, and I've had to do my own kind of due diligence and research because of the type of mind that I have in order to defeat any anxiety spells that may come along. So being able to talk to someone like Carrie, who's also been able to address this, and obviously based on our conversations and just me knowing her in general, she's just been able to successfully conquer this reality. It's great to have her on board. And with that, Carrie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your book and what you'd like the readers to know about it?
Sure. So back in late 2019, I ended up having a full-on mental breakdown. It was really crazy. I had just let my mental health get so bad for the prior couple of years that by the time that I really sought serious help for it, it was a little bit too late. So despite being in therapy and trying some different techniques at home, I really just wasn't doing enough or committing myself fully to it, which I think can be a lot of people's issues. Because when it comes to mental health, like it's not a quick fix and it requires a lot of your attention and a lot of time and focus. So I think that's where I went wrong. But in the end, it ended up with me having this mental breakdown. I ended up having to move in with my parents for a couple of months at the end of 2019 and beginning of 2020. And, being a 32, 33-year-old woman, that's like, it was really hard. And I was really embarrassed about it at first. And I was really scared to talk to people about it. But after going through the process and even drawing that time, I felt like the only way to get through was really to talk about everything I was going through with friends and family. Because during the time, like there was no way to really hide it. So if I wanted to spend time with friends or talk to them, like I had to talk about it. And so after a couple of months of that and like a lot of time in therapy and my therapist like promising me I'm not broken, I'm okay, I just started opening up. And then once I started, like I moved home and I really started to work on myself and got on medication and stuff, I was kind of struggling with what is my purpose? What can I do to help other people? Because like I work, like I was telling you earlier, I'm a CPA, I work in the accounting field, and I really love what I do. I love my job. I love numbers, but I didn't feel like it was really fulfilling me on a personal level.
Sure.
So I decided to write my books, and I reached out to Nicole. I knew she was a multi-time best-selling author and we had gone to school together. So I was like, let me talk to her about this. And she thought it was a great idea. So I just sat down and started writing. And I wanted to share that story in hopes of helping other people that have gone through what I did, or just to build a greater awareness around the importance of mental health.
Sure. That's phenomenal. And you've come a long way, and it's great that you've reached out to those around you for any help. That's an issue that I actually have personally. I'm embarrassed by it, or I was embarrassed by it, so I never truly reached out to anybody. So it was my own little secret, which makes matters a hell of a lot more difficult because nobody can coax you out of it. They can't talk you out of it. They can't help you calm down. They can't, because you're not telling them, because you're just not telling them. So it's really great to know that you had a voice and you were able to kind of step out and maybe reach out to some of your friends and whatnot, which is very commendable. And it takes a lot of courage. It truly does. So, kudos for that, Carrie. I'm going to jump over to the chat for just a quick second because, like I said, it is a pretty live one. We have Kathy Brooks here. She says, behavioral therapy helped me in the early 80s, but I finally had to go on medication for anxiety. So, Kathy, thank you so much for sharing. I do appreciate you sharing your personal information with us like that. Behavioral therapy is definitely great, and if medication is the route that you'd like to go or you feel like you need to go, then obviously each person should make that kind of decision based on whatever it is that they're feeling. But what made Kathy, if I could ask the audience briefly and see if she can respond, what made you decide that the behavioral therapy just wasn't enough and that you should maybe go ahead and go to medication? And why don't I actually implement that question to you as well, Carrie? You also started taking medication also, is that correct?
Yep.
And so the difference between the two for you, maybe if you can elaborate for some people who may be considering it, or tell us what made you think maybe that's the good next step for me. Because if I can be honest, personally, I'm so nervous about taking any kind of medications at all, even aspirin for a headache, that I'm just so not okay with it, that maybe listening to you tell me a little bit more about it might open me up to that idea. Should that issue, happen, I've really been able to conquer anxiety quite well over the past several years. So maybe I won't need it, but please tell me.
So honestly, I was really apprehensive at first. I took like Kathy's approach with the therapy and everything. But I think, well, let me backtrack for a second. So my first experience was with Zoloft, and it was really bad. It actually gave me suicidal ideations.
Wow.
So that's kind of not supposed to happen. But after that, so that was like back in 2016.
Hold on a second. Let's jump back to that for a moment. You said it gave you suicidal what?
Ideation. So basically, some medications can create or bring up like feelings of suicide, like that you might want to commit suicide. It was a really weird experience because like I don't desire to do that, but your brain is like kind of giving you these it's like a really, really dark, scary thoughts. It was a really terrible experience. So I was really afraid to try meds again.
Right.
But I will tell you, so this is my biggest advice to people. Medication and therapy together, like if you've tried holistic treatment and it's not working for you, I actually highly recommend trying medication, because you really don't understand how far you can take yourself in your journey when you are properly prescribed. And what I mean by that is, like, when I first got prescribed medication, I went to my general practitioner, and I love her, so this is nothing on her at all. But that she has a large toolbox, but her toolbox is spread very thin amongst the different things that she is able to treat, because she's a general practitioner. And my biggest recommendation to people is to seek out like a true trained psychiatrist. That is their wheelhouse. That is their entire toolbox.
That's their
box. And I think what it takes for some people to realize is medication isn't necessarily meant to be a long-term fix. A good psychiatrist will get you on medication to help you be able to do the work in therapy and at home. Because for me, like, I was so bad, I was making no progress because I just didn't feel good enough to be able to do that. But with adding the medication, I was able to make the progress that I needed to do outside of the medication. And like I was saying, any good psychiatrist will tell you, like, the goal is not for you to be on it forever. If you are, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. Like, some people need that because medication are chemicals that help your brain. Like, your brain chemicals may be out of balance, so you might need that to help you. It's nothing wrong with you. It's just like if you were sick. So some people need it longer, some people don't. And the goal is to eventually not be on it. But, I've given a couple different ones a try now, and I don't regret any of it, to be honest. I'm way better off now than I was before the medication.
Which is wonderful. So you're off medication now?
I'm on medication now.
Okay.
We tried a couple different ones. So that is one thing I'll tell people that haven't been on it, is going into the medication with an open mind is really, really important, because it's not as simple as taking an aspirin.
How do you open your mind if you're struggling to believe in its reality. Like for instance, what were you able to do after experiencing your experience with was it Zoloft?
Mm-hmm.
What were you able to do, mentally to open your mind to trying something else?
Honestly, it was a lot about education because when I first tried the medication, I didn't understand that it was a process. So I thought the medication was a quick fix.
Sure.
You pop a pill, you feel great.
Poof. Yep.
Yep. And it doesn't work like that. Like, yeah, if you're talking about taking a Xanax or a Klonopin, like that's meant for panic. It's not long term. It's super addictive. I don't recommend trying to take that full time, but I just educated myself. My psychiatrist, she's actually amazing and gave me a lot of education before we even started me on the meds.
Okay.
And it's just understanding, one, that it's a process. Two, just because something works for somebody, like one of my best friends is on Lexapro and it makes her feel like $1,000,000, but that didn't work for me. So you can't assume that what somebody else is using will work for you.
Right. Everybody's chemistry is kind of different.
It's different.
Right.
Yep. And you just have to, remind yourself, like, this will be a process. You have to go into it with that mindset. And I think
Sure.
that's where a lot of people go wrong with it. Like, they give up really early. I've talked to a couple of people that have done this, and, I've learned a lot. The first 2 weeks, you don't feel better. Like, most people feel worse the first 2 weeks, but I don't think that people know that. And it's just getting the education and then knowing that every time you change a dosage or you try different medication, the first 2 to 3 weeks is going to suck.
Sure.
And then to really feel the full effects, it's 6 to 8 weeks. Well, when I first started trying meds, I didn't know all that. So
right
after
off
my
the
first
bat, yeah, you were
yeah.
right.
So I think that helps you, just going into it knowing that it's going to be a process and trying to stay positive, knowing that, like, in the end, if you stay like calm and realize what you're in for, and also staying really in tune to what's going on in your body and being very open with your communication with your provider, because they can't help you if you're not explaining to them clearly what's going on.
Sure. I completely agree with that. Jumping over to the very active comments here. Nicolia Williams has chimed in a bit. We were in the middle of a conversation, so hopefully she's still on to be part of this. But she says, so grateful that you shared your story. It definitely helped build a greater awareness. And then she says, yeah, that makes sense. You go to a seafood restaurant for seafood, not hamburgers. So a good psychiatrist is imperative in the process when you were talking about making sure that your psychiatrist is somebody who specializes in the issues that you're dealing with, of course. For a moment, I would love to share. Before I share what I want to share, let me first ask you, because I feel like I've never been diagnosed, or I've never gone to a doctor in that respect to be told anything specifically. So I feel like maybe my anxiety or the anxiety that I ever experience is kind of minor. It's mild. It's not frequent by any means at all. It might happen once every 6 months or whatever the case may be. So it's very, very mild, but I do know when it comes on, and I know when it first started, and it was a very new experience for me. So before I get into what I wanted to talk about, let me ask you, what, in your opinion, what does it feel like for you when you experience that kind of a panic attack, that anxiety attack? What is your experience like, and how severe is it?
So it really depends. I have to preface this by saying this. I think
Sure.
a lot of people confuse anxiety with stress and stress with anxiety. Stress has an identifiable cause. Anxiety does not. So I almost just started this by telling you I was feeling anxious this morning because I was starting my new job. But no,
Sure.
That's stress, like normal stress. And stress, like I said, it has an identifier. There should be some type of plan you can put in place to relieve the stress, or you just have to know that eventually that stressor will go away and then you'll be fine. For me, anxiety is just like waking up. It's usually in the middle of the night when I get my panic attacks. They've a few have happened during the day, but usually it's in the middle of the night, and like I will start getting really, really hot,
Mm-hmm.
and my heart rate like super skyrockets.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and then it's just like super dark feelings and I just can't shake. And
Can't get out of your head.
yeah, that is like when I have the worst panic attacks, and it's just like I want to shut down. I don't want to be by anybody. I just want to go home.
Sure.
But it's one of those feelings where it's like no matter what you do, you will not feel better.
Right.
Like when I'm in the middle of a panic attack, there is nothing
Yeah.
that can comfort me. But what I've learned over time is like I recognize when they're coming on. So I try to like stop them in their tracks.
Yeah.
And another thing, like I always recommend for people when they're having those moments is, and this is something my therapist taught me, but allow yourself to have the panic attack. Like realize it's going to be over.
Right.
Now, if this
Yeah.
is your first panic attack, like I can't help you, you know, you just have to go through it because we all
Sure.
have, but you just allow it to happen. Let it do its craziness and know it'll be over. And actually going into it with that mindset of like, this will be over in like 15 minutes, whatever,
Yeah.
makes it like, okay. And
It
then it
helps
just goes
alleviate
away
it
and
a
you feel
bit, yeah.
better.
Yeah, some of the things that I
Yeah.
do, and after talking with you a little bit, maybe I don't have so much anxiety as maybe I do have stress-induced anxiety where under certain stressful situations, I'll tell you right off the bat, health for me is an anxiety type of thing for me. So if something happens in my body, like I get a quick little boom in my chest or something happens, do you know what I mean? If it's health related, that's where I kind of start to get nervous. You know what I mean? And sometimes that nerve takes me to a point where I feel like I'm struggling breathing. I can't take a deep breath, and then I'm realizing, okay, I think I'm coming into an anxiety, like a little bit of a panic attack here because I can't take that deep breath that I'm looking for. What I try to do, two methods that I try to use here is I'll go to the freezer and I'll grab an ice pack and I'll put it on the back of my head or neck, and it immediately changes the temperature of my body, or at least my head and neck area, and gets my mind focusing on something different. Sometimes that's enough. Other times I genuinely have to literally breathe through my nose for 3 seconds, hold my breath for 3 seconds, exhale for 3 seconds, and repeat that, counting every time, which has me focusing on the time. So do you do anything like that? Does anything like that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, deep breathing is definitely, that is just a natural like helps you in any situation.
Yes,
Stress, anxiety,
I've started
panic.
meditating because of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I'm the best at it, but I recommend like doing a meditation practice every day.
Uh-huh.
There's so many free apps out there now, and like even when you're in a pinch, like there's 5-minute ones. So I always tell myself, like I said, I'm not that good at like actually following through, but you literally have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I recommend this to people too. Like if you're feeling really stressed or really anxious, is actually like put on a guided meditation in the car, like when you're driving to work, if you're stressed. Not one of the ones that tells you not to listen to it when you're driving or operating heavy machinery, like one of the sleep hypnosis. Do not play that in the car. But like if you put on, there's like tons of the ones that are just like affirmations. Like I used to listen to them in the car on the way to work when I was stressed. So
Sure.
That is a really good one. Like if you're feeling panicky. And then, yeah, I definitely agree. Anything cold. So like you're shocking your system. So yeah, the ice packs, splashing cold water on your face. If you're really going through it, like having a terrible, terrible panic attack and you're at home, jump in a cold shower for a minute.
Sure.
And you will literally be like, your body will calm down. Your mind will still probably be feeling crazy, but the jump in the shower and then put on like some warm clothes. That's worked for me before and like helped me fall back asleep when I've had it.
And there it is. You're looking for the nap once you start having that anxiety attack.
Yeah. And ice water, always ice water.
Sure.
Like if I'm feeling super anxious, just drink some cold water, and that like really helps.
Awesome. Do you have your blindfold?
Oh, I do.
All right, and I know you're super excited to get started because I hear a little birdie tells me you love snacks.
Absolutely.
Well, I sure do hope I do you justice. So tell us the story that you were telling me before you came on about the surprise your boss had for you today. You started a new job today, yes?
Yes. So I started a new job today. My boss is very lively like me, so I'm like super in love with her. She's amazing.
Great.
Um, and we found out we had a mutual love of snacks. And I
Ooh.
was really, really excited to start at my new office today and realize that our pantry at work is stocked with all kinds of snacks, especially cookies and snack bars. I'm like, oh my gosh,
What's
I'm
your
getting
favorite cookie?
I actually am an avid baker as
Ooh.
well. And I am quite partial to the chocolate chip cookies I make. They are
Oh,
so good.
stop it. Listen, I sent you a pack of goodies, all right? So
You
maybe I
want
could
one
get some of
back?
those cookies sometime. Yeah, that sounds
Absolutely.
delicious. Yeah, go ahead, keep talking, but go put your blindfold on.
Yeah.
Let's get started with some of these snacks. So continue with what you were saying
Oh,
with your
yeah.
boss.
So, anyways, I go into my boss's office today. For some reason, I had to ask her a question. And she had a little paper towel with cookies for me. I was so excited.
Nice. Were
She
they?
told me, I'm sorry.
What did she say?
Oh, she was like, from one cookie queen to another. I was like, oh my gosh, I already love this lady.
That's amazing, and that's the first experience you're having with your new boss. So that is wonderful. I love that. Kristen says chirp chirp. All right, there you go. Thank you, Kristen. Uh, so reach into the box. Before you do reach in, I love to look at the box. I just want to see the box because
Okay.
I love the box. I don't know what it is about the box, but I love the box. So let's see if there it is. There's the box. Oh, that's a beautiful box. All right.
Am I a good aimer? Am I
You
aiming good?
you are actually a decent aimer. It could come up a little bit, but you're actually pretty
Excellent.
good. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh man, that's perfect. I couldn't ask for anything better. All right. And you
The
and your
branding, some marketing right here.
see, and your
Perfect.
fingernails are on point, by the way.
Thank you. Fresh Manny just for you.
Nice. Okay, go ahead. Open up the box. Take the first snack out. Let's see
Oh
what we
gosh.
have here today.
Okay, this one has a very interesting bag. Is this good aim?
That's pretty good aim. Go left and up. I mean, right and up. Right and up. Yeah.
Right and up.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, look at that. Yep. So for those of you who want to see a larger picture of that, that's the don't say the name, Bobby. But go ahead, open that up, and you can give it a try. Let us know what it tastes like. Let us know what you're experiencing, Carrie.
This is going to be my pre-dinner snack, so I'm like super excited about it.
I'm gonna spoil dinner for you.
They kind of smell like Funyuns. Have you ever
Ah,
had a Funyun?
I've had a Funyun. Yes, I have.
It's like Funyun with something else. Maybe like a taco set.
That's great. That's great. I'll tell you what. I don't want to ruin it for you. So go ahead.
Pretty good.
Oh, not bad.
It's like kind of a cross between a Funyun and a Cheeto. I'm into it.
You're into it?
Yeah, it's good.
Loving it? You got a flavor? What kind of flavor is it?
The flavor's like really light, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people from other countries got to work on that. You're the second person who's said that about the chips per se, that they're kind of light in flavor. America, we don't do it like this.
Oh
We,
no, we
we
got a
don't
lot of
do it
flavor.
like this. We have a lot of flavor. And all right, great.
I'm
So
gonna stick with my taco flavor.
you're
I
gonna
don't
stick
know.
with the
So like,
taco flavor? All right, you're a little off on that, but it's okay. I can see why you might think that. I can almost smell them from here.
they're
Because
good.
tacos have that armpit smell. You know what I mean?
They didn't smell like armpits.
All right, we're gonna give you three choices,
Okay.
and then if you can choose it right, we'll give a free book to your audience. Okay?
Am I gonna ruin my snacking reputation right now? Because that would be terrible.
You
Let's try
are
this.
not gonna. No, I have complete faith in you, Carrie. Complete faith. All right, let's see. Which one was that? Okay, so was that the Si Senor Mucho cheese holes? Was it the Ketchupitas or Lobits Cibola?
I'm going with cheese holes.
Cheese holes. All right, so she went with Si Senor Mucho cheese holes. For the audience, we know that that answer is wrong. It's actually Lobits Cibola. So you got
They're
that.
onion flavored?
They're onion flavored, yes.
So they were
Oh,
like Funyuns. I knew it.
that's great. Hold on a second here. Before you reach back in, just give me a second.
Gosh, you're keeping me from my snacks. I can't even believe it.
I know. Alrighty, we are back. Whoa. I don't know what happened there, but my mouse didn't want to click off of the pictures. It just wanted to keep on staring at the pictures. All right, grab your next one. While you grab your next one, before you open it, just show the audience and what I wanted to ask you a quick question. So that's beautiful, and it's wonderfully upside down. Oh, wow! I'm gonna have to get it. I'm gonna have to get on it with my my production team because that's not the one that's supposed to be in there. Isn't that wonderful?
Uh-oh.
All right.
Surprise to both of us.
Yeah, surprise to both of us. So I can't show a picture of that because I don't have that. But can you show it to me one more time so I can take the name down?
Yeah, so you can figure out what the snack is when you ask me what it is.
I actually know what that one is. Okay, I actually prefer you having that one than probably what the other one is. So before you taste it, because I want to get your full experience when you taste it.
Okay.
Answer this question.
Sorry for
me.
cursing on the internet.
Oh, that's okay. No worries. How has you said you had your kind of your breakdown in 2019, which for you to come out of something and in 2019 and then walk into 2020 and 2020 being what it was. I mean, that's kind of amazing that you've been able to maintain a strong mind through 2020. So my question is, how has 2020 and the pandemic kind of affected you negatively, or how has it affected you positively?
This is going to be a really unpopular answer.
Okay.
But I will start this by saying I literally hate the pandemic. Obviously, it is so sad that so many people have died.
Right.
I wish that, I know it takes a long time to like find vaccines and figure out the root causes and to treat people. But I really wish that could have happened sooner. And I'm not happy we were in a pandemic. But I didn't hate 2020 at all, because it gave me the opportunity to be at home working on myself instead of like having the daily stresses of driving into the office and interacting with people face to face and dealing with like commuting and a schedule and like social obligations and all this stuff. And it gave me the time to work on myself. So I'm not really mad that we were stuck at home. Let me just say that. Yeah, that's better than saying I'm not mad that we had like 2020 happen.
No,
I'm happy that I was given the time to be by myself and not have the obligations of the world around me.
Sure.
And I think that like there's a lot of people in my circle that took that time to be able to grow and work on themselves. And I think that was like so productive rather than sitting at home complaining that they couldn't go to the bar or, like I just found it really hard. Like, of course there were times when I was like, man, this sucks. But like,
Okay. Well, we seem to have lost, Carrie for the moment. I think her internet might have gone out. So let me just go ahead and try and get her back. So just bear with me momentarily. How's everybody doing out there? Okay. Hey,
hey,
we lost you for a second there.
We hate that.
I know, I know. So just hang tight. I'm glad I could just come right back up and pull you back in. Perfect. You better not have cheated, Miss Carrie Thompson.
No, but I was like, did he just leave me with this blindfold on?
No, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was your internet or mine, but it was probably mine. I don't know why. I have good internet. My Wi-Fi is some of the strongest. So, well, we're back, and none of that matters anymore.